Hey there, are you interested in winning at wealth without losing your soul? If so, stick around. I have 7 things I want to share with you today about that concept. Greetings. Thank you for joining me on the Profit Dare. I'm Tim Kiser. And on this channel, we share simple financial strategies designed to help you minimize stress and maximize hope. A couple years ago, I wrote a book called The Profit Dare, Winning at Wealth Without Losing Your Soul. And in that book, there were principles I set out. And I want to just highlight those seven of those today and share those with you. And if you're interested, the book's available on Amazon or wherever you buy books. It's a easy read. It's profound, but it's simple. It is faith-based, so if you're not a faith-based person, you may not jive with all of it, but it is solid information that's helped hundreds of people. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is your perspective, or in the book I call it philosophy. Our philosophy, or how we view money, has a lot to do with whether or not we actually win at wealth. If we believe that the world is against us and the deck is stacked, we will never ever break free because we're fighting this internal battle that can't be won. In the book I use the example of my grandfather, who I think is one of the most awesome human beings that ever lived. Right, he died several years ago, and I had the privilege of living with him a part of my life, a big part of my life. He was hardworking, he was honorable, he helped people, he was charitable. I mean, all the great things, but he never seemed to get ahead financially. And he never was poor, because poor is a mindset, but he was broke most of his life. And he believed that the government could control him, and that the deck was stacked, and DC had more to do with his success than anybody else. And I'm not trying to denigrate him at all. I mean, because he's a great guy, right? Just this tweak here could have changed a lot of things for him financially, because we've all been victimized in our lives. But we, in a lot of ways, get to choose whether we remain a victim or not. So financially speaking, how you perceive things. I mean, right now, inflation's going crazy in our country, and we could say that's why we can't succeed. Or, I don't have a degree, and we'll say, I just don't have a degree, and I can't succeed. I got to have a degree, or I have a graduate degree, or it's just the rich get rich and the poor get poor. Perspective matters. That's the first thing. Second one is purpose. Understanding the purpose of money. And there's a few things that we can do with money. First, we have to earn money. We have to earn it, right? You don't earn it, you don't get it. Obviously there's some crazy things that happen with Stimmy, but primarily we earn money on a regular basis, a very consistent paycheck, whether you're a side hustler or a business owner or an employee selling your labor as your own little mind your own business. It matters if we have a perspective. Earn money, we can save money, we can spend money, which most of us do really well. We can invest money, we can give money away. Those are some of the things we can do with money, but it's understanding that balance and that dynamic is really important. Maybe your paycheck could use some tweaking, it could use more. And I mean, ask this question: is it possible for you to make more money? Is it possible for you to get a 10% raise or 15% raise or a 25% raise or whatever? And I think if you go back to the first one and your perspective is kind of out of kilter, you'll say, no, it's impossible. But I ask, is anybody at your work making that much money? Anybody at all? And if anybody is, that means you can too eventually. You just got to position yourselves properly, right? The third thing I want to talk about is planning. Planning is important. Planning is very important. The plans of the diligent bring profit, and the plans of the lazy bring poverty. It's really important that we understand that and plan things. If you don't know where your money is going, to properly budget your money. It's planning for your future. Your car, just for the most part, doesn't just all of a sudden get 175,000 miles on it and need to be replaced. I mean, we knew that all along. We know stuff breaks down. Are we planning for our financial future? And it's important to plan and execute. The next thing I'm talking about is partnering. There's really no such thing as a self-made millionaire. That's one of those things, I know it's semantics, but it kind of just bothers me. As my brother says, it just chops my lettuce. I just don't like it at all, because no one is self-made. We all have parents, and they may have been the best parents, but a mom actually give birth to us, right? So good luck surviving as a one day old, and you're like, oh, I'm self-made, I'm so awesome. and we need to understand that we all need help. And finding people who can help us, surrounding ourselves with people smarter than us, wiser than us, who can encourage us, who can kick us in the backside when we need it. We need partners. We need partners in our lives all the time. If you're married, your spouse is your partner and they will help you. And one of the things that a lot of partners and spouses, the thing that drives us mostly crazy is because a lot of times we're opposites. Opposites attract. But most often that is because everything that you're not, she is or he is, and vice versa. So everything I'm not, my wife is, and it makes us better as a team. If we were just alike, it'd be really crazy. And one of us would be unnecessary, as Ramsey says. The fifth thing was practicing. So we got to practice certain things. If you are investing in your 401k, every time you make a contribution to your 401k, you're practicing investing. Every time you do anything like that, if you're revamping your resume, you're practicing how to make that thing better. When you're interviewing, hopefully when you interview, you're practicing your interviews so then you can just like crush the interview. You're not just showing up and going, I hope they don't ask me really hard questions because I am not really prepared for this. Practice. Practice paying your bills on time. Practice saving money. Here's a novel idea. Practice going to work and showing up on time with a smile on your face and doing what they tell you. Uh-oh. If you're a business owner, practice knocking on doors, so to speak, and asking for more business. Practice marketing. Practice learning how to master social media to make your side hustle and your business better, right? We have to practice things. Things just don't come naturally for us. Work is not fun. I remember one time I was on a charter on Lake Michigan going salmon fishing, and it was just a beautiful day. We were catching a lot of fish, and the captain of the boat, I asked him, I was like, so it's like, this is the best job in the world? And he's like, after a while, it's a job, right? It's a job. Work is not always fun. We have our ups and our downs, right? So, but you got to practice making your craft. Practice being an expert in your craft, whatever that is. And if you want to learn a new skill to take you over to increase your income, practice that on the side until you perfect it, or at least improve it dramatically. Contrary to popular belief, businesses aren't trying to stiff you all the time financially. If you can solve a problem for somebody that no one else can solve, then all of a sudden you have more leverage in the negotiation process for finances. So it's important for us not just to show up and do what's expected of us. We're getting paid for that already. I know people, I hate to hear that, but we're already getting paid for that. If you wanted more money, we had to do things, more things or better things or increase our productivity or whatever it may be. Do more, and then the value increases. So we don't get paid for the time we're there. We get paid for the value you're adding, right? So, you might think, if you're a window washer, I'm looking outside of my house, there's windows, and you're a window washer, and someone's like, well, I'll pay you $12 an hour. But if you're the owner of the window washing business, all of a sudden you're adding value to a business, and you're not getting paid by the hour. You're saying, no, I'll wash your windows for $1,000, because that's once you go and hire somebody else. Do you want to do that? But I'll do it better. I'll do it. You want to stop what you're doing to do it, hire someone else to do it, but we're going to do it for you. What value do you add to the equation? So we're going to practice. Sixth thing I'll talk about is principles. It's so important to live a life of integrity and honesty and ethics, pure ethics. I'm telling you, there's no shortcuts when it comes to this. Treating people right financially is important. Some people call that the law of reciprocity. Some people call it karma. However you want to think about it. I'm telling you, by doing things right matters. That there's never the right time to do the wrong thing. We must live a life of integrity. That means paying your bills on time. And if you can't pay your bill because you're behind, you pick up the phone and you talk to somebody and say, hey, I'm in a jam. Can you walk with me through this? Can you help me out? You don't just ghost them and like, I'm going to just keep hiding from them. And it just makes it worse. Just have some spine, have some backbone, and take responsibility, right? Live a life of principle and a life of integrity and ethics. The last thing I'll talk about is patience. Winning at wealth takes time. The easiest way to go broke is to get rich quick. The easiest way to go broke is to get rich quick. It just doesn't work. Sometimes it takes our brain time to catch up with the money. So you might just have somebody who, you might go from a job making 15 bucks an hour to 30 bucks an hour. And all of a sudden your pay doubles, which would be awesome for most of us. We'd be like, oh, that's great. I'd love to have that problem. But what comes with that is all of a sudden it's the mindset to grind through this and all the things that go with it. And are you capable of doing that? Well, I wish I would try, but the statistics for people who win lotteries is just remarkably awful for people just like kind of like just losing their mind financially because their brain is not accustomed to that. Their heart's not ready for that much money. And the more money you have, this like the weirder the people get around you, right? So it's important that you have patience and make a plan. And so the patience is it's like you're the same no matter what's going on around you. That's really what patience is. Patience is not about just having a mild temper, a mild attitude when you're waiting in line at the DMV to get your license renewed and thinking, oh, I'm just going to be really nice while I'm waiting 45 minutes for this person to take my money and give me a new license. That's not really patience. Patience is like when no matter what's going on around you, you're the same. You're the same. So we have patience in your pursuit of winning at wealth, right? Don't rush the process. If it gets crazy, you just keep on grinding it out, and you do other things. You partner with somebody. You make a better plan. You practice things. You tweak your perspective, or you go back and say, why do I need this money? What's the purpose of this money? It's and you're just like, oh, I need to live by a life of integrity better, right? I need to live more life. I live a life clearer and keep my word more. But we have patience in this, and don't rush the prospect or the process, because the process, there's something for us to learn all the time. And sometimes more money is not the most important thing. There's something else, a different lesson we need to learn besides, I just need more money, that'll fix everything. That's one of the things that just drives me crazy is I'm not trying to pick on anybody specific here, but it's like someone has a tragedy in their life, and the first thing we want to do is, let's do a GoFundMe page for them because money fixes everything. When I see someone do that, and sometimes people do need money, but when I see people, that's the first thing they do, usually without knowing any facts at all, it tells me that person thinks money is the answer to every problem. And money is rarely the answer to every problem. So we have to have patience. We got to let our mind change and get adjusted to the realities of more money. Our heart changed to the same thing, and get in line. Our whole thinking process, get in line with the new process of money. That's why it's better to increase incrementally, and you kind of just adjust it naturally and organically. But all of a sudden you get tossed a lot of money in on you, man. You're gonna make some boneheaded mistakes. I guarantee it. So if we do those 7 things, it's really important to do those 7 things. And I believe if we start doing these things in order or even bounce around, I guess they're kind of interchangeable, our life will change financially for the better, right? So again, that's just a really high level view of my book, The Profit Dear, Winning at Wealth Without Losing Your Soul. So if this has been video has been a blessing to you, please like it. Share it. If you want to subscribe. And if you're interested in the book, you can get it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever else. It's called The Profit Dare. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you soon with a new video. Until then, I dare you to profit.